The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Josh Lowmaster, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer and co-founder of Perfect Golf Event. And I appreciate everybody taking some time to join us today to learn a little bit about weather insurance. It happens to be an extremely beautiful day here in Northeast Florida, where I'm located, and nearby office is a colleague of ours at Vortex Weather Insurance, Eric Anderson. I'm going to introduce here in a second. And we hope in about 20 minutes or so to introduce you to Vortex Weather Insurance and how it might apply to your event, and then leave a little time if you have questions. You might see some tools on your GoToWebinar box that's on the screen where you can raise your hand or you can chat. I'll also start a chat with everybody here in a second. But feel free, if you think there's something we didn't cover, ask, and we'll save some time at the end. Just a couple of housekeeping things. Everything you're seeing, including the recorded audio and video, will be sent out by email just a little bit after we finish, along with a PDF of everything you're seeing on the screen. And of course, I will have contact information for me, for Eric. If there's something we don't catch on the webinar today, feel free to engage with us on email. And with all of that said, I'm gonna be quiet here. I'll jump on chat. Feel free to go back and forth with me if you like to while things are going on. And with that said, let me introduce Eric with Vortex Weather.
Josh, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our 7th webinar of the year. Very excited. We have a very, very big group from across the country. So as Josh said, I'm going to try to keep this to about 20 minutes. And then at the end, if you have questions, we'll go through all the questions. You're going to get a recorded version of this, a PDF. But ultimately, after the presentation, I'd love to chat with all of you via email, text. I'd love to price up your event so I can show you how Vortex Weather Insurance helps events across the country and makes it affordable, and so you guys are properly hedged for your tournament and your expected revenue. So throughout the presentation, whether you're a first-time organizer or you've been doing this 5, 10, or 20 years, I want you to think about the potential impact of rain in your event and your ultimate target of what you're trying to do, and that's to raise money for your charity or your memorial, etc. A couple things to remember is that you don't have to get rained out to collect. You can have a little bit of rain, it could trigger a medium amount or a lot, and I can help you structure the different kinds of ways to protect your event revenue. So think about that through the presentation. We're going to go through it, and then hopefully at the end we can get through all the questions. Very excited to be working with Perfect Golf Event. This is our 4th year. We have an embedded product with the different upgrades that they offer that is on their website. So whether it's Eagle, Double Eagle, or Ace, we just wanted to note that you have protection put in place from 10 to 2 on a 1/2 inch of coverage. But ultimately, we want to offer your entire event to be protected. So I'll touch on that when I get to meet all of you as well. So with that being said, we'll get started here. At Vortex, we like to say, don't let weather slice into your club's bottom line. You can't predict the weather, but you can help protect your business from it. There's a myth that insurance agencies don't know weather. And it turns out we are weather nerds. Our team has over 100 years of combined experience in the weather risk management industry. And we've been helping protect events since 2008 using data-driven policies that mitigate risk. A little bit about us. Vortex Insurance is a subsidiary of MSI Guarantee Weather. We've been in the weather risk management industry for more than a quarter century. Since 2008, Vortex Weather Insurance has specialized in insurance products for outdoor events, fairs, festivals, concerts, jumpy castles, lacrosse tournaments, zoos, you name it. And in 2019, we realized that there was a need for golf tournaments, golf properties, everything in and around golf. So we've been doing this now for several years, and I'm going to get into this and show you how it works. I'm asked this every day: who's our carrier? It's our owner, Mitsui Sumitomo, and we are rated A+ by AM Best. There's a picture of me. I am the National Director of Sales in golf and all products since 2019. I've been with the firm. I've been in this space for over 25 years. I was actually the broker for Guaranteed Weather. I did all of their global trading around the world when I worked up outside of New York City. I live down here not far from Josh in Perfect Golf in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Before that, I played golf professionally. I worked at Augusta National. I played in a ton of events. I've helped run events. So I know the pain points, whether you're a first-time organizer and you're trying to raise $5,000 or you're trying to raise 20, 50, whatever your number is, I can help you. And Perfect Golf can help you. So there's a myth in the golf business: you can't fight Mother Nature. We say not so fast, that you can stand up to Mother Nature and help protect your revenue with Vortex. Across the country, savvy golf course operators and event organizers are using rain insurance as a risk management hedge. When you hear that, you want to say, okay, what does that mean? You know, you want to think about all the anticipated heavy play periods, morning, afternoon, evening. We can do seasonal monthly hedges, Monday, Thursday golf outings. We can do multi-day tournaments, holiday weekends like this coming weekend. We've done a lot of events for Memorial Day weekend. There's a lot of kickoff events up in the Northeast, across the top part of the country. July 4th, members, member guests, etc. So you want to say what's at risk in these tournaments, these pro-ams, corporate outings, fundraisers. It's all the play-related revenue and the pieces in the equation that goes into X. That's the number you're trying to raise. What are those pieces? Food, obviously, alcohol, beverage, merch for all these tournaments. So this is a very important slide: rain insurance versus P&C insurance. The chance of sustaining an adverse rain occurrence for a golf event is significantly greater compared to traditional property and casualty events. So here's the chance of a potential insurance claim on a single day over a 20-year period. Car insurance, 0.015, and home insurance, 0.003, very small. Now, when you look at rain, okay, rain insurance versus P&C as a comparison, here's the chance across the country of a quarter of an inch, just a quarter of an inch, of rain falling on any single day between June and August, significantly greater. That's just for 3 months. So here's another myth: rain insurance is complex. The good news is that we make it very simple. And this is how it works. Rain insurance is parametric. What does that word mean? Rain insurance is triggered simply if the recorded rainfall at your location meets or exceeds the threshold listed in the policy during the coverage period. Again, the proof of loss or event cancellation is not necessary for the policy to trigger and pay a claim. Okay, so you can have your event, it can rain, it can trigger, okay, you can make the money from the policy, get paid rather quickly, and have your event. So that's something to think about when you're deciding on the amounts, the rain thresholds, your budget, etc. And I can help you with all of that. Again, quick and simple claim processing. Payment is typically mailed in less than 2 weeks. Again, this is not indemnity, this is parametric. So if the index is hit, if the threshold is hit, you get a check sent to you immediately, and you can use the money for whatever you want. How does the rain insurance work? Vortex uses WeatherWorks claim determination system. We come down, it's very hyper-local. It's not recorded at an airport that's, say, 3, 5, 10 miles away from the location, which includes, you know, basically you have basis risk in the reading. We come right down on top of your property, and through WeatherWorks and their methodology, several different methods, and I'll send this to you in a PDF so you can understand it in a little more thorough way. We're basically recording on property. We provide recorded hourly precipitation measurements as little as 0.01. We write policies as little as 1/10 of an inch. And the different options, we've all heard of shotgun coverage, 4, 5, 6 hour shotguns where everyone gets on the golf course and they start at a defined time. Ladder coverage to the right, that means the more that it rains, the more that you're paid back. I'll show you its layered approach versus just a one threshold approach. And then extended hours coverage. Sometimes there's multi-day tournaments. I've been talking to a lot of events lately where you might have a shotgun, say at 9 a.m. And they say, Eric, what happens if it starts raining at 7 and people don't show up? And we lose, say, 25% of the field. Unfortunately, you're not covered. So what a lot of people do is they buy the hours on the front end, say 2 or 3 hours, if it's in the budget, and then they shave it off the back, because if people are wet and they're at the golf course and they play through 9 holes or 12 or 15 holes, depending on the contract that you have with the golf course, usually the people are there, they're going to be spending money and playing golf and hopefully donating to the different ways to raise money for your memorial or your tournament. Okay, so what are the parametric options? The hours of coverage. Hours can vary per day for multi-day events. The rain threshold amounts as low as 0.10, a tenth of an inch, all the way up through an inch. Usually people say, Eric, what do people buy? Well, they usually buy between 1.5 inches and 1/2 inch, but I'd say on an average, it's right around 1/4 inch. The limits can vary by day. I'll help you understand that. Limit meaning how much you have to cover. Obviously, the more coverage you have, the more expensive it's going to be. But I can help you understand the metrics of your tournament, expected revenue, the costs, everything that's involved. Okay, the use of hourly data allows us to concentrate only on the hours when rainfall can negatively impact business operations. I just touched on that, how you can push and pull hours. Usually what I do with customers is I'll show them a 5 or 6 hour window, and then I'll add 1 or 2 hours on the front end, and we can push and pull the amounts and thresholds, and we can get to the sweet spot where you're insured properly, you have the peace of mind you're looking for, and it's within your budget. Here's a grid that sometimes I share with customers. This is something back in 2019 in Ponte Vedra Beach at TPC. You can see here in July on the second half of the day, obviously it's in the middle of summer, it rains more than the morning time. But this is something that we work through in a very thorough way to make sure that the customer understands the historical data at their location. So here's another myth. Rain insurance is too expensive. And in reality, our team works for you to create a policy that fits your needs and budget. Pricing, obviously, the geographic location. It's going to rain. I'm in Florida. Seasonality, it rains here more in the summer than it does in the winter. Rains more in the afternoon than it does in the morning time. It's going to rain more in the Northeast in the summer than it is, say, in Arizona. Okay, so here's a quote. In the wintertime, just our standard insurance. There was an event down at PGA National, and they bought a $10,000 policy from a 5-hour shotgun from 10 to 3. This means that in option A, if you were to purchase this policy, if it were to rain 0.20 or higher within the hours of 10 to 3, this customer would have received a check for $10,000. It doesn't matter if the rain comes at 10:01 and 2:59, it drizzles all day, or if there's a blast, say at noon, and it triggers and it's sunny on either side at that time. As long as the aggregation of the rain is totaled and it hits 0.20, the customer is paid. At the end of each policy, every single customer receives an expiration report, even if it's 0. The data is looked through, measured by WeatherWorks. Our scientists and data analysts verify it once we get the report, and then we send you, the customer, an expiration report, just so whether there's a trace of rain, a little bit of rain, or if there is indeed a payout. Okay, here's an example of the ladder approach. So what does that mean? This is basically tiered insurance. So in this policy here at Ponte Vedra Beach at TPC, this customer, again, in the wintertime, had a $150,000 outing that they wanted to cover. The premium in the winter, just on 5 hours, was $33,471. So this means that in the event it were to rain 0.2 or higher, but not touch 0.33, they would get $15,000. If it were to rain through 0.33, okay, and not touch 0.5, they would get the $15,000 and the $45,000. And then obviously, if it were to rain through 0.5, you'd get the other $90,000 and all of the $150,000. So the more that it rains, the more that you're paid back. Customers like the PGA Tour and Champions Tour, and lots of different members in events buy this ladder approach, because the more that it rains, people leave, and then they're not spending as much money on the raffle or inside at the lunch or the dinner because they're wet, and they're not going to bid on certain items, etc. So again, I'll send you this when I get to speak with you and show you our standard style and then also our ladder style. Here's a customer of ours that we worked for several years. This event was down in Ocala. They had an event for $25,000 of coverage. The rainfall, he bought 0.33, Gary. The premium, this was in the wintertime, in November, and it triggered. He did have a rain date, so he went ahead, he got the check, and he went and bought insurance for the rain date as well. We've worked with him for several years in several different events. But it's something to consider. A lot of people say, Eric, we have a rain date. Okay, typically, a lot of golf courses, especially in the Northeast, they're booked for the whole year, and there's a lot of times where you can't get a rain date, and if you do, you know, it's not as well attended. So sometimes people will buy full coverage for the first event, and if they can, they'll buy separate coverage or a smaller amount of coverage for the second event. But this is just an option, and again, I'll help you understand this a little bit further when we get on the call. So here's some of our customers. Our partners, we've worked with several PGA sections. They've continued to buy from us. PGA Reach, I've done a lot of NFL alumni charity events through PGA Magazine, Folds of Honor, different parts of Folds of Honor and their chapters through the country work with us. Buffalo Group does all of our marketing, and Perfect Golf Event. We're in our 4th year with Josh and his team. They're outstanding. So if you need help for your first-time organizers, or you've been working through the years with them, continue to look and help, ask them for help, because their team is fantastic and they can help you with your event just grow stronger and stronger. Our tour events, Travelers and Dick's, they continue to work with us. They each had 6-figure payouts last summer. They both hedged differently, but I'll help you understand if your event is looking for a much larger amount. I can help you understand that as well. Okay, here's some of our customers, our testimonials through the years that we've worked with that continue to do business with us. And as we conclude, Josh, I just wanted to double check about a minute ahead of time. Are there any questions I can help with?
Yeah, I do have a couple of things. Great presentation as always, and yeah, we've just real quick from Perfect Golf Event standpoint, we really have enjoyed this partnership, and as the CFO of Perfect Golf Event, working with the thousands of events that we worked with and tens of thousands over the years, we've just looked for opportunities for those events to reduce their risk. And when we saw how easy the Vortex products were to acquire and don't require a significant claims process, that's led to our level of interest for our customers at Perfect Golf Event, so which I know many of you are. So let me cover a couple of people reached out by chat. Eric, so dates. So kind of how the pricing works. Does it work like an airline ticket? Do you need to buy it sooner? And how late can you buy it?
Yeah, no, great question, Josh. Ask this a lot every single day. Typically, we always encourage folks to buy in advance, okay? If we priced it today for an event, say in September, you have a 45-day lock on the price. That won't change. If you haven't made a decision, I need to reprice it after 45 days. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. It won't deviate too much. It depends on the region. Obviously, if it's a heavier rainy season, that will obviously affect the data. But we understand that some people need to buy it in advance, so it's a line item. And when they're planning for their event, we do. I'm binding right now for 2026 events because they just want it done and locked. We do understand that some events have to wait until the last second because of budgets or sponsors coming in. We get it, and we understand that. But the last day that you can bind is 15 days prior to your event. So if that falls on a weekend, it's got to be done 15 days in advance on that Friday, and that's via credit card. If you need to do ACH or send a check, that's got to be done in advance so we have it in hand 15 days out. And that's basically so you can't cherry pick the forecast. So 15 days is the benchmark.
Great, thank you for that. Another question, that's actually kind of a timing and a procedural question. So what information do they need to provide to you if it rains, and how long does it take to file a claim?
Yeah, great questions. That's the beauty of this. You don't have to do anything. Although when there's any kind of rain, our customers call or email me and say, Eric, we got rain, or we've got rained out. Our team, we get a report, an expiration report from WeatherWorks at your location per hour, basically at your location. And we get this report, our analysts look at it, and then we send this to you. So you don't have to do anything. If your policy is triggered, we recognize that. We send you an email. I send you an email. And then that check is processed rather quickly. Some folks have gotten their checks within a week. Usually you're getting the money in hand in less than 2 weeks. So you don't have to do anything. But basically, we send you the report to show you the hourly readout.
Thanks. I'll just add on quickly to that. Some of you may have noticed recently, if you were looking at the Perfect Golf Event upgrade packages, that if you're on an Eagle or higher upgrade, you automatically get some Vortex rain insurance coverage. So you're going to see those reports because those are going to get generated. Once again, automatic. You don't have to do anything. You're covered if you're on those Eagle or higher. So you're going to see an expiration report, a rain report come to you after the event, even if there's no rain. So you'll get a chance to see those. And if you have any questions about those packages, let us know. But Eric, I think we have done a good job of covering the questions here. I don't see any hands raised. I don't see any chats. So with that said, Eric, thank you so much for the presentation as always. And we'll get an email here in a minute with just the things we talked about, a video and PDF, and of course, contact information. Eric, I'll let you say goodbye.
Yep. Thank you, Josh. Again, thank you, everyone. Large group today. Look forward to hearing from you. Just to add to the upgrade package, if you want additional coverage, so your entire event is covered, call me, and we can add on to the upgrade that you have received. But ultimately, I'd love to price up everybody's events and just show you the many ways, whether you want full coverage or partial coverage. So with that, thank you again for attending. I hope everybody has a great day. Take care.